On this episode, we discover how to perfect our self-image. You can clearly see yourself when you finally close your natural eyes. Be prepared to find out how self-image is shaped, tips to eradicate toxic images, and ways to build on a healthy foundation. You'll also see how vital the imagination is in seeing you, the real you. This is Life Club. I'm Tashima Jones. Welcome to Life Club. I genuinely believe personal development unlocks the door to the abundant and wonderful life we all already have. I also believe we must be intentional about seeking out that life in order to find and fulfill it. I am so grateful your journey of discovery has led you all the way here. Let's keep moving forward together. Once again, welcome to Life Club with me, Tashima Jones. You are tuning in to Life Club with Tashima Jones. Super excited about today's topic, and it is called Perfecting Your Self-Image. Most topics we discuss are truly personal to me. I always believe that if I'm experiencing a thing, I'm sure there are others facing the same issue. It is so vital for us to share our stories because there are tons of readers who can gain from a glimpse of our life's journey. With that being said, let's get cracking. Recently, I've been moved into the space of meditation on self-image, rolling the term around in my head and my heart over and over again. Self-image, self-image, self-image. What was revealed to me was that self-image is not based on what you look like, but how you see yourself. And on the surface, these two notions appear to be the same, almost like a mirror image of each other. But when you recognize that who you are is not who you see with your natural eyes, you unlock this door of amazingly wonderful goodies about living your best life. How you see yourself is based on a collection of thoughts, beliefs, and experiences stemming from birth until this very moment. I like to add, even before space and time, self-image is ultimately the perspective of you that lives in your imagination. The imagination holds ideas and concepts of external objects not present to the natural senses. It's the ability of the mind to create and to be resourceful. It's where we get vision and inspiration from. It's even active while we sleep. So I don't want us to get imagination confused with child's play, because they're using their imagination to play with these imaginary creatures and beings and friends and all this good stuff. The imagination is truly the act and the power of forming a mental image. So, image, imagine,
right.
Imagination.
It's connected.
Image. All connected. So, my question is, what do you look like in your imagination?
Ooh, that's a real question for me, girl.
You can go, yes, that is a real question for you and all of our listeners.
I'm definitely taller. Let me say that. Because I've been paying my house this weekend and I've been wishing to be a couple of inches taller. So I'm definitely probably around 5'9".
Okay.
Still a little chunky, my stomach is probably not as persistent at being here in my imagination, and I'm probably still me. Nothing is changing. I think my outside image is the only thing I would want to change in my imagination.
So that's really important.
Yeah.
That's really important that you say that, because again, your self-image is not based on what you look like. So you could just cancel that out.
Dang.
Sis, gotcha.
All right, then I'm
But
still me in my
yeah,
imagination. I'm
and
comfortable in here.
that's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing,
Yeah,
and
I'm cool with that.
that's the danger that we all face when we speak about when we think about our self-image. Even when we want to change things about ourselves, oftentimes we go to surface level things. We go to how we look, how tall we are, how short we are, how slim we are, how round we are. You know, all of these natural things that you can see, taste, touch, smell, and all that other good stuff. So the important thing is to dismiss that from your self-image. You have to dismiss that from your self-image, because you go through physical changes in your life, whether it's having a baby, whether it's getting older, whatever the case may be. This exterior part of who we are as human beings, it changes so much. So if you are basing your self-image on these things that are constantly changing, constantly exposed to just nature itself, it's like putting your confidence in the clothes that you wear.
So
Things
would you suggest you make it a goal instead?
make what a goal.
Like the image that you have. Like don't make it something you would want to imagine yourself being, but maybe a goal to say, I would want to fix this about myself versus trying to be that, you know?
So the physical, you're speaking about the physical?
Yeah.
Definitely. What I've come to know, and I always say this, that all things spiritual create those things that are natural. So sometimes we can put so much emphasis in changing our exterior that when we get to that point, we still find ourselves unhappy.
Right.
Or we're trying to just keep going. You know, you see plastic surgery, you see diet fads, you see even bulking up, being
Right.
buff for no reason.
Right.
Like it's just no reason that some people are buff. But I digress. I mean, some people are literally buff for no reason. But anywho, that's the danger in it. So while that should always be a goal to maintain your health, maintain your physical appearance, and doing the things that nurture your body, and even your profession, finances, all those things that are outside of you and who you are, it is important to take care of those things. But the key to maintaining those things is being conscious of how you see yourself on the inside. Because, you know, some people can lose 10 pounds and then they gain 20 more pounds because the intention was to look a certain way on the outside and not really change the root of the issue, which is what's going on the inside.
Right.
So that's really, really important for us to really be able to separate the external self from the true self that's within. Now, going back to that question about how you see yourself in your imagination, when you close your eyes and you see yourself, who are you? What do you smell? How do you sound? You know, all of these things, your mannerisms, your behavior, how do you walk, how do you talk? Oftentimes we see clearer when we close our eyes. So while I did mention, you know, closing your eyes but seeing the physical, it's important for us to understand that oftentimes what we say about ourselves is not always how we see ourselves. Because you have a lot of people who are walking in false confidence or walking in the sense of confidence, saying one thing, feeling something totally different. And while I do believe in the power of affirmation in words, you have to eventually get to this space where you truly see yourself for who you are. And if you do not want the person that you see, and if you do not understand the person that you see, if you're not clear on the person that you see, it is so worth the journey of actually seeing clearly. Now, I am like a big fan and like, you know, advocate of how things in the spirit manifest themselves in the natural. And I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but the camera itself is designed after the eye. It's not the other way around. You know, people compare like, oh my gosh, the eye does exactly what the camera does. No, the camera is doing what the eye does. You know how you might look at a picture or a TV or anything like a light bulb and you close your eyes and you can still see that flashing image. Your eyes are they're taking pictures every single day. Now, when we go back to that self-image definition that I gave, a collection of the thoughts, beliefs, and the experiences that we have over time, it's literally, you know, a manifestation of your eye gate, your ear gate, and what you say. I just wanted to run through some of the things that the camera does that was designed after the eye. So the pupil is the aperture. The pupil is the aperture of the camera. So the pupil is the gateway for light to enter the eye. It opens up or tightens depending on the ambient light for us to recognize images. The iris is the diaphragm of the camera. It changes the size of the pupil in order to control how much light actually gets in. The lens, well, it's the lens. It focuses light onto the retina at the back of the eye. And the chromium, I believe. The I forgot how to pronounce this word.
She's like,
the CHOR.
Oh, look.
The CHOROID. I don't know why this thing just slipped my mind, and I was like totally on a roll this morning.
You're human.
Yeah, it's all good. This is the black part of the camera, like encased beneath the camera, and this part of the eye is also black. It prevents the internal reflection in the eye, so that the image can be received and not blurred. And last but not least, the retina is the film. It's the part of the eye that actually records the image. It sends, this signals to the brain so that it can be recognizable to the brain. I say all of that to say that what you are seeing on a regular basis, what you are exposing yourself to on a regular basis is constantly shaping your self-image. We have this problem as human beings to compare ourselves, and oftentimes it's just our need to connect with something. It's like sometimes you can, when you see something, for example, those abstract images where it could be like a face of an older woman or a face of a younger woman. I'm not sure if you're really into all those brain games and all that good stuff, but your brain and your eyes are constantly trying to make things recognizable. The brain is always trying to zoom in to find something that looks like a face or looks like something that you are accustomed to seeing. So sometimes we can see, different structures in clouds. You can see a bird, a turtle, a heart. Again, your brain is always trying to bring things down to I don't want to say down, because the brain is an amazing place, but it's always trying to just bring everything back to what it understands and what it recognizes. So when you think about that and you think about self-image, you have to question yourself as to what am I basing, what's the foundation of my self-image? Is it on my family? Is it on my internal thoughts? Is it the movies that I watch? Is it the music that I listen to? Is it social media? Like, what is your mind taking in and pretty much like claiming as its own? So there are more details as to what really shapes our self-image. And not only that, I think more importantly, these things help us see how we see ourselves. Because sometimes you don't even recognize how you see yourself. Like, sometimes you don't really recognize what you are claiming as your identity. And unless you sit back and really reflect on what you have been or who you have been and what you have done, in those moments, those are the times where you can say, well, this is how I truly see myself. Again, we can say affirmations all day. We could wear red bottoms. We could do this, that, and the third. But the reality of it is, what image are you holding on the inside of yourself about yourself? So 3 aspects to help you see how you see yourself are, the first one is your automatic thoughts. When you're faced with a challenge, when you get, a raise, when you travel the world, when you have to deal with something in parenting or on the job or in schools or in school, what is your automatic thought? For example, you are going for a promotion. Is your automatic thought, I know I'm going to get this because I'm just cool like that and I do what I need to do and I get the job done? Or is it, well, I want to go for the promotion, but I'm not really sure of how it's going to work out? That is a reflection of how you see yourself, that automatic thought. If you're walking down an alley and, it's dark, are you afraid as if something's going to happen to you? Or are you confident in your divine protection, in your divine, circle of just angelic gangsters, if you will?
Right. Ancestors and everybody.
Heard you. So those automatic thoughts really reveal how you see yourself. The next thing is your speech. we have, I mean, there's life and death is in the power of the tongue. There is no doubt about that. But what I've also realized is that a belief connected to what you're saying is even more powerful. Because if you actually believe what you are saying, that is when you have those moments of seeing, serendipity, if you will, or just these things that's like, okay, how did I just have this conversation and now the check is in the mail?
What? Let's hear that from the universe. Yes. Check is in the mail.
Right? So mixing your beliefs with your words makes you armed and dangerous. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this or know this, but the term abracadabra, the ones that magicians use quite often, is I will have what I say.
Right.
If I want to pull this rabbit out this hat, abracadabra, there it is. So there is so much power in the communion of words and beliefs. And what are the first things that come out of your mouth when you're speaking about yourself? Or if I don't believe in mistakes, but for the lack of a better term, if you make a mistake, what is the follow-up to that mistake? Is it, oh, I'm not worth anything? Oh, I'm not good enough. I knew I was going to foul this up. Or is it, you know what? I learned a lesson in this and I'm better because of it. Or this is just part of my journey that I'm just going to put in my back pocket for when I need it again. What you say about yourself reveals how you see yourself. And again, it's not these moments of premeditation when you're geared up with your affirmations and you're ready to go. It's just those automatic words that come out of your mouth in the middle of life. So recognizing how you speak about yourself, recognizing how you even introduce yourself, looking and, reflecting on that part of you will reveal how you see yourself. And last but not least, it's what are you listening to? What are you, it's a span of a few things. So the general idea is, what are you taking in? What are you receiving? What are you allowing yourself to eat, to hear, to watch? What are those things that you are willingly exposing yourself to? Because I had a conversation with a friend of mine who said it's so amazing how you can control, with grace and mercy, you can control your response to the world and your actions and your words, but it's so hard to cut off what you receive. Because you could be walking down the street and hear a ratchet conversation and be like, man, I wish I would have never heard that. Or you could be scrolling on your timeline and just see something that is either very inspirational, hopefully, or very depressing, if you will. So the issue is not what is just what you're surrounded by. The issue really is, what am I eating, both spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, in so many areas of our lives. What am I eating? What am I listening to? What am I watching? What am I willingly allowing to come into my space, to come into my vortex of life? And the reason why that's so important is because you would never give your child rocks to eat. Like, you just wouldn't.
Nah, I wouldn't.
Nah, not me.
No.
And I only and not even Fruity Pebbles.
Not even Pop Rocks. Like,
exactly.
Right, they good. Mm-mm.
Like, you're not going to walk around giving your kids stones to eat.
Mm-mm.
So why do we? Because there's care, there's concern, there's love there. So why do we allow ourselves to be exposed? Why do we willingly receive negative energy? And sometimes we call it entertainment. Like, it's not even like you want to argue. Maybe it's just what you're watching on a regular basis. Like, the scripted reality. You know what I mean? Like, you receiving those things willingly. You making sure you in front of your TV at the right time, ready to roll with the next episode.
Every week. But they're not showing up for their own self like that.
Every week. So that reveals the love, the care, and again, how you see yourself. And I'm like low-key hood. So not for nothing.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Right?
Bring it out.
So not for nothing. When you allow yourself to sit under toxic energy, that's a reflection of how you see yourself. Mm-hmm. That's a reflection. If you want to be a receptacle of like garbage, that's a reflection of how you see yourself. But when you say, you know what, I'm not going to expose my mind, my body, my soul, my energy to negativity, whether it's for entertainment purposes or not, when you start to listen to what you're listening to and then change the station, when you start being mindful of what you're reading, that's a reflection of how you see yourself. You see yourself as worthy of good vibes only. Hashtag good vibes only. You see yourself as worthy of nutrition. Even what we eat, you see yourself worthy as this big, nice green leafy salad versus that half-cooked burger. I'm just saying. You see yourself as worthy. And when you start to check yourself on these levels of your automatic thoughts, your automatic speech, and your automatic exposure, you can then say, you know what? I'm not placing much value on myself. I don't know why this idea of like Vaseline came to mind, but even like taking care of your physical body with like just moisture, like just drinking water, the simple things in life. I know I might get an email or something like, girl, I need us to hear that about Vaseline.
Use it.
But seriously, that was so funny. I'm sorry. But when you start to look at your automatic thoughts, when you start to look at your automatic speech, and when you start to look at your willingness to expose yourself to different things, just in all of your the gateways of your mind, body, and spirit, then you can say, you know what, I value myself. Then you can say, you know what, I need to tweak this because this is not helping me. This is not serving my life. This is not getting me to the space and the places that I want to be in. So when it comes to self-image, you can truly see how you see yourself by checking those areas. And one thing that I'm also reminded of is that self-care is not the same as self-love. Because you could have hair done, nails done, everything did, and not really love yourself
at all. A lot of women are walking around fully dressed up, makeup, hair, nails, shoes, every bag, purse, every type of skin cream that's supposed to be good for you, and they literally still have hatred for themselves.
And the ironic thing about that is that same self-hatred is what drives them to try to create this surface level persona of who they are. I always say, and this is speaking the truth in love, if every one of your photos on social media has a filter, may the real you please stand up.
One time.
You know what I mean? And I'll tell you.
Who are you?
Like, who are you? No, for real. Like, I want to see the real you.
We love you behind the filter.
And you must love yourself behind the filter. That is
Right.
like totally an Instagram campaign on self-love.
It is. Yeah.
The you behind the filter. Hashtag. But we digress. I wanted to tell a quick story about like me and my hair journey. You know, I was told by an older woman when I was younger that the only thing I could offer was my hair to a person.
Wow.
Right? So it didn't necessarily make me gravitate towards having my hair to be a certain way, but it definitely affected me in the other areas of my life. Mm-hmm. Well, if hair is all that I have, then it's kind of like, well,
what's the rest of me? Like chopped liver with
you
hair.
know? I've had other women in my life say, you know, you are like so boring. Nobody's going to want to be with you. Right?
They don't know you after dark. No, let me stop. They don't know your life. Auntie is not supposed to see that part of you anyway. Go ahead.
Totally threw me off.
Sorry.
Okay. Now you got me thinking about me after dark.
Right. She's like, yep, they don't know my life. Look.
Or early in the morning, depending on what you...
Hey,
Anywho.
if it's a Saturday. Go ahead.
depending on the day of the week. So when, and again, going back to those beliefs, experiences, and the things that, the collection of those thoughts that create this self-image. So I say all of that to say is that every single moment that we experience in our life either adds to or takes away from how we see ourselves. And the hero's journey in it all is to discover the core being, that part of you that doesn't shift or waver. And the only way to really get to that point is to build that relationship with yourself. And it is to check yourself on those levels of your being and of your existence. That part about After Dark totally threw me off.
Oh my God. It must be true. Look, that's she blushing, y'all. I wish I could see her face.
What just happened? Okay.
Let them think you're boring. That's a surprise. Jump out the box on them.
Okay. So your self-image is definitely something that is so worth you really tugging at and looking at and discovering. I gotta go to a break. Let's continue our conversation about self-image. We want to speak about moving forward, whether you've had a really, really healthy self-image or whether your self-image could use a little bit of work. These are some keys to actually perfecting your self-image, if you will. Definitely revisiting the thoughts, beliefs, and the experiences that you've had, and recognizing how those things have shaped your self-image. If you have a very, very healthy self-image, continue to build upon that foundation that you already have established. And if you need to level up, as in what Sierra just said, start to delayer the things that have shaped it. I always say that we are already whole, and the process of being conscious of that wholeness is delayering the things that people may have said to us, the things that we may have been exposed to or experienced, whether in family, community, or culture, taking those things off of your being, if you will, really eradicating those negative, toxic thoughts that you have come to believe over time. And once you do that, you really find yourself in this space of peace and true wholeness. And it's so possible to do that. Again, when you practice this idea of closing your eyes and seeing yourself on the inside, you're able to really reflect and really start to become more of you. So perfecting your self-image definitely it's a process. It takes you revisiting the foundation of your self-image. It takes you analyzing your automatic thoughts, your automatic speech, and what you choose to expose yourself to. And once you get to that place, you are able to move forward to the process of either building on the foundation that you already have of a healthy self-image, or delayering the negativity that is really covering that beautiful, wonderful, amazingly blessed person that is you. And after you delayer and after you build, then you're able to almost, in a sense, self-actualize. You're able to, there's this cool story about what a genius used to be hundreds of years ago. A genius used to be thought of as this outer body spiritual creature that connected with people and told them the secrets of the universe. And then over time, I think perhaps with ego, the genius became the person. However way you want to think about it, I truly believe that there's a genius in every single one of us. Because what a genius truly is you being the best you in this earth that you can possibly be. It's self-actualizing. It's being able to accomplish things that you were placed on planet Earth to accomplish in such a way that you are just attributed to this genius level. People talk about Kanye West, people talk about Beyonce, people talk about even Einstein and all these other people. The reason why they are seen, in my opinion, as a genius at all is because they have reached and continue to reach their fullest potential. nobody could ever be Kanye. Nobody could ever be B. Nobody could ever be Einstein because they are just self-actualizing. Nobody could ever be Sunny. Y'all already know nobody could ever be me.
Oh my God.
That's the confidence that I've been meditating
Pull
on.
It out. Pull it out. I like it.
Coming through.
I like it.
Your speakers and
Yes.
iPhones and iPads near you. But seriously, you tapping in to the core being of who you truly are and seeing yourself for who you truly are is the most beautifulest thing in this world, because you can have fun once you really connect with that person. Then life doesn't become, life transitions from being a thing to survive into a thing that you can thrive in.
Right.
And you are opening up yourself to new opportunities, new doors, new possibilities. And like I've said it before, God is like, yo, I know who I made you to be, but I don't know who this chick is that you being right now. So all of the blessings that are held up specifically for you with your name on it are just like chilling, waiting for you to really walk in that path of who you truly are. And that is the joy in it. And then the competition, it goes away. This whole comparison trap, it goes away. And then you're able to not only see the genius in you, you're able to see it in other people. You're able to celebrate other people's wins and victories. You're able to let things... Do you guys know about like this whole term of, letting it roll off? Letting things roll off of you like water off of a duck's back? Have you ever seen water roll off of a duck's back?
Not really.
You need to like sit at the lake and like really look at water roll off a duck's back, because it does not absorb the water at all. It literally rolls off of their backs because, of course, if it soaks in and weighs down their wings, they can't really function. And when you get to that space of being this dope duck, it's just like automatic.
Right. I like that.
Right?
Yes.
That's a cool hat.
Thank you.
Dope duck.
Hey.
Your hat is cool too.
No.
Like making the
Right.
hat.
My bad. I have a hat, guys.
Yeah, and it's cute.
Thank
by
you.
the way,
Yeah.
it is really cute. But like hashtag dope duck. But anywho, this show has been one funny random show.
We
by the
needed
way.
this energy.
We
Though.
really did.
Yeah.
FYI, I had like coffee and I was like popping like way high, and then it came like just tumbling down.
Boom.
So like the playlist that Sunny had was like so on point. Totally got me, hype. But yeah, so when you self-actualize, when you become and you fulfill and you embody the person that you were created to be through discovering what your self-image is now and what it should be, all of these external toxins literally repel, and then you are able to attract the nourishment of life itself in every area of life itself. Even your mind starts to shift about just that level of consciousness as to what you're eating and what you're inviting into your space and who you're inviting into your space and the energy that you're giving off and the energy that you choose to receive. All of these things just start to connect and they start to align and they start to just manifest themselves in your reality. And that's the beauty of knowing who you are from the core of your soul. That's the beauty in understanding your purpose. That's the beauty in really fulfilling that being that is you, because everything changes. Again, the spirit world always gives birth to the natural world. So imagine this amazingly wonderful person on the inside of you. What things are coming your way? What, a lot of people trying to get into relationships and it's like, oh my goodness, why it's not happening for... Perhaps you need to deal with some things that are going on inside, because you're obviously attracting these people to you. And I will never say that everything you experience is your own doing, because there are things that come our way that we just have no idea, both good and unfavorable, but there is something that I call, it's like iron sharpens iron. where it's like a lot of people who are in your life right now are there to sharpen you. They're not there to agitate you, to frustrate you. They're there to teach you a lesson. So if you have somebody who's low-key ratchet in your life, doing you dirty, allow them to be the mirror of your soul. You know, I was in a very unhealthy relationship at one point, but the moment it clicked was when I recognized that the things that this person is saying to me, I've said them to myself over and over and over again. But to hear it coming from another human being caused me to stand up for myself. But then I had to stand up to myself in that same note. So recognizing that the more you develop yourself personally, the more you expand and allow yourself to be expanded in your mind, in your spirit, in your emotions, and even in your will and your behavior, the better off your relationships are, the better off your abilities and your skills and your talents become, because you are doing what Eric Thomas, the profound motivational speaker, and he has an amazing story. I had the privilege to actually interview him, and we're on the phone and he's just like talking. I'm like, bro, I don't even understand why I thought this was going to be a regular interview. And he really spoke into my heart and into my mind. And he said that you know that you're on the right path when all those cherries and berries and all those numbers and that 777 comes up on that, when you pull that little lever, you start to walk in this, no other word to describe it, but this divine path where everything that you need comes to you, and whatever you don't need leaves you. You know, somebody else, R.C. Blakes Jr., he said that people don't leave you, you leave people. And you sitting there crying about why you leaving me and why you going. You left them when you leveled up.
Right.
In your consciousness. You know, your the energy that you exuded was like, nah, you can't be here anymore. I don't even know who that's for, but I know it's for somebody. So I'm just happy to be used to share it. But yeah, you know, this time it goes by so fast.
It does.
Goes by super fast. Yeah, we, of course, like always. So that wraps it for now. I can never say it's over. It's just those 3 little dots at the end, like to be continued. I do hope that through this conversation and through this show, you were enlightened on some area of your personal life where you can either celebrate your victories and say, you know what, the 7s are lining up and they all in a row. Or you could be like, you know what, there's a process that I need to go on. I have to look in the mirror of my soul by closing your eyes and seeing yourself a little bit more clearly. Super excited, as always, to share with you on Life Club with Tashima Jones, my homegirl, Sunny on the boards. Where can everybody find you?
You guys can locate me on Instagram. I'm there making people smile at I am Sunny Savage.
Yes, that just made me smile just now. Heard you. And I am Tashima Jones. You can find me on tashimajones.com. All of my social media and contact information can be found there. I just gave my site a facelift, so definitely check it out. This is Life Club with Tashima Jones, my homegirl Sunny on the boards. Until next time, remember your greatness. Talk soon. I am Tashima Jones, and you've been listening to Life Club. Thank you for tuning in.